bakuwe campaign zaabwe. Ba candidates mugondera mateeka. Singa mugondera mateeka kirowooza nti nabene bisimanyi bebagambe betulaba nti ab'ebitongole byokwerinda bakoze kino tebijja kubeerawo. Mujjukire we twatangira campaign zino bintu byatambula bulungi era buli omu n'agamba nti banange bintu nga bitambula bulungi. Sitaani n'agamba nti sinateekamu ebyange. Naye kakati it's not too late tusobola okutereeza ebyonna ebitateredde. Nga tumaliriza twagala okukubiriza abantu bonna bannayuganda ffe nga kakiiko twewaddeyo okulaba nti ebintu bitambula bulungi. Kale mukaweefu okulaba nti tumalawo endooliito zonna oba obutakaanya obuzeewo oba embeera yonna ezzeewo tulaga ekifaananyi kibi nga bannayuganda. Wiiki ejja tugenda kubeerawo n'olukuŋŋaana lwaffe olwokusatu. Twateekawo enkola kati okubeera nga na enkuŋŋaana okubeera na meeting na agents ba presidential candidates, okubeera na n'okusinkana aba presidential candidate agents ba presidential candidates, ebitongole byokwerinda Uganda Police Force n'akakiiko k'ebyokulonda. Twakakola enkuŋŋaana 2 katugenda kubeera n'olukuŋŋaana oba meeting eyokusatu wiiki ejja. Tulabe kiki ekitaataganyiza embeera okusooka eyaliwo ng'ebintu nga bitambula bulungi. Kiki ekizeewo? What has happened? What is it that is causing this fracas that we are seeing, which nobody wants to see really? Nolwekyo nga kakiiko njagala tutegeeza bannayuganda baleme kweraliikirira. Akakiiko ebintu kabikutte bulungi, naye watuba twagala kalulu ak'emirembe k'amazima n'obwenkanya. Buli muntu yenna wekikwatako ayina ekyakola oba kiki ayinawo oba process oba stage ng'ayenyigidde mu kalulu kano. Singa tugondera amateeka ne tubeera bawulize bannange, eggwanga lyaffe lijja kusigala liri emirembe, tujja kubeera n'akalulu ak'emirembe, teri kweraliikirira, teri biki, naye ffe tulina okusalawo akalulu kaffe kagenda kubeera ka ngeri ki. Mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala bassebo ne bannyabo, Mukama bakuume. It proper. Oyinza kugamba ogenda kubeera ku kifo kiri kumpi n'eddwaliro, kumpi n'essomero, ng'abaana baffe bakola ebibuuzo, bweyagala okubeera campaign. Saba ebitongole byokwerinda omulimu gwagwe okulaba nti yes candidate gundi ajja kujja mu kifo kino, teri kintu kyonna genda kutaataaganyizibwa ajje. Naye kakati candidate atuuka mu butale n'atandika kwogerera abantu balikola emirimu gyabwe mu butale, abantu banoonya kasente okwebeesawo. Kati oyagala okutaataaganya emirimu gyabwe mu bizinesi zaabwe. Buli kubo ogenda n'oyimirira buli kubo. Kati abamu lw'okuba nti bajja bayimirira asangawo n'abantu n'ayimirira, ekifo kyagenda okuba mu campaign agenda kujjukira nti obudde bwe wakoze eki bwamuyise godda. Kati ayagala ayingireyo obudde bw'ekiro atandike okukola campaign. Poliisi bwevaayo omuzibira nti olaba banzibira. Please let us be responsible. I think the first sign of a good credible leader, responsibility, respect for the law. Ekirala, olulimi olukozesebwa bakandise bamu kwawula omawanga oba mu madiini, okukumamu abantu omuliro. Kati nyawulira bagamba nti mwe mukuume akalulu kammwe, teri agenda bagana kuuma kalulu. Sebo gwani ogamba abantu bagenda okuuma kalulu? Amateeka gagamba nti abantu abamanyiddwa abakkirizibwa kubeera ku polling station agents ba candidates, buli candidate akkirizibwa okubeera na agents babiri. Tuyinawo ba polling officials abali wansi akakiiko k'ebyokulonda. Tuyinawo observers abanga bakkiriziddwa oba baweereddwa olukusa okubeera mu kifo ekyo polling station we ziri. Ebibiina by'obufuzi nabo babirwa omukisa okubeera naba observers. Voter protectors bw'onoonya mu kitabo eky'amateeka tebaliimu ssebo nnyabo tebaliimu abalala temwagala kukula anti temwagala goberera amateeka kati obiyigiriza amateeka ssebo nnyabo voter protector mateeka taliimu era gwe banaawa simanyi bakuwadde olukusa genda obeere voter protector zikusanze nze singa mbadde gwe mukama wange nagamba genda obeere voter protector nze sijja kuva waka kubanga abagenda bayoola ng'enseenene mu kinonoke. Abe agenda okukuuma kalulu kaffe nze nga candidate akalulu kange kanaakuumibwa bata katya aba agents boolina polling station kati kamba kyokulabirako basebanyabo tulina ba candidates aba presidential candidates bameka 8 si 8 already aba agents bameka 16 candidate wabanga yewaddeyo okusindika ba agents jukira nti ku polling station yemu ku lunaku lwe lumu tulina akalulu okulonda direct elected member of parliament tulina okulonda woman member of parliament wano mu Kampala bangambe kisuse manya wa bangambe waliwo bakandidates bali 20 bameka 20 oba 2 waliwo constituency limu abesimba ku kifo kimu 22 kati ba agents bameka buwa machindie ba agents bali ba candidates bali 20 already those are 40 agents gatako ba presidential candidates 8 16 already abo ba agents bali 5 kati oyagala ba voter protector bafaanana batya ba malaika oba baani bano bagenda kubeera ba voter protector bebamanyiddwa mu mateeka naye gwe onoojja namakooti gondi zi voter protector ojja gasigaawo. Okay, ekirala waliwo ebintu abagenda nga boonoona oba basangula campaign posters zaba agents abalala ekyo mu mateeka tekikkirizibwa musango bw'osange campaign poster ya Byabakama candidate nga n'ogiyuliza n'ogyonoona singa bakukwata ogw'omusango kati bagenda kusibira ki bagenda kusibira bwereere kwonoona campaign kati campaign poster eyo bw'ogiyitako n'ogenda okosebwa otya bw'ogyonoona ofunamu ki obanga mu nsawo temuli ssente bw'oyonoona campaign poster yagundi we ssente buzinaayingira sebo ojja kutambula nga tulina ssente n'ebizibu byo so muleke kwenyigira mu bintu ebitakugasa. There are things which add no value to you wabula biba bikwonoonera n'omukisa gw'olina okukola ebintu by'oyagala kukola n'olwekyo temwonoona campaign poster. Wali kimu kye twalaba ekyali simanyi ekiruhura walaba Nansi bamu abeewaayo ne bakuba simanyi baali bakuba bawagizi ba Kyagulanyi kati ekyo kyaki eyo mpisa kyeyo candidate yenna yasunsulwamu waddembe okugenda mu kifo ekyalaze nti nja kubeera Gindi nkube kampe kuba kiri mu mateeka bw'obanga towagira candidate gundi muleke ayitemu kugenda okola emirimu gyo tibakugambe jangu obeere ku kkubo kubanga candidate gundi wotawagira agenda kuyitirawo teyakuwaliriza naye what is not accepted ekitakkirizibwa abantu okutwala amateeka mu ngalo okumenya amateeka in fact not even okutwala amateeka okumenya amateeka n'otandika okugoba oba okukuba abawagizi ba candidate watawagira ekyo tekikkirizibwa eba tukivumirira. Thank you. Now, I wanted to start with that question. It was important, and I don't want to forget it as I respond to these other questions. First of all, we said in 2021, we had a total number of 18.4 million voters on the National Voters Register. All right? Secondly, remember that the process of registering voters, new voters, does not only take place when we open the update exercise. According to the law, registration of new voters is supposed to be a continuous process. And that process is aligned to the registration of citizens by NIRA. As NIRA continues to register citizens, and among those citizens are those who have turned 18 years of age, and since 2021 elections ended, NIRA continued to register a number of citizens who had turned 18. So by the time we came to the update exercise, there were a number of Ugandans who had turned 18 who had become eligible voters, who we had already incorporated or included on the National Voters Register. So the update exercise was only to give opportunity to those who have not yet been registered by NIRA, who are not yet on the National Voters Register. They are now 18 years and above, and they want to participate, or they want to get registered as voters. So it's not that the update exercise is the one which generated the new voters since 2021. No, there has been a continuous process of registration of voters, and the update is within the law. It says before any election takes place, the Electoral Commission shall put in place the update process to enable all those who want to register as first-time voters to do so. I think I've explained that number has been a continuously growing from 2021 up to the time of update. So when we generated 600,000 something new registrations during update, which was about 3 weeks, does not mean that is the difference, the only difference in the addition of voters on the National Voters Register since 2021. Not at all. I think I've answered that one. Now, on the issue of, because I talked about it in Uganda, I want to emphasize it. Voter protectors is not a concept known in the electoral laws. It's not known in the electoral laws for one to be dubbed or tagged or labeled or identified as a voter protector. It's not there. But I've had some candidates, some people, encouraging either their supporters or telling them, you are going to protect our votes. And we all know the votes are generated from a polling station, period, nowhere else. And the laws are very clear on who should be at a polling station, the polling officials in the various categories, the agents for the candidates, the police constable, the observers who have been accredited according to what the political parties and other individuals or groups will have applied or indicated. So as the only people in the law. Now for you to come therefore at a polling station with a tag, voter protector, I am saying you are alien, you are a masquerader, you'll be arrested, period. However, the people, the voters, are at liberty to witness. After you have cast your vote, please leave room for other voters who have not cast their vote to come and cast their vote. Mind you, some of these polling stations are so small, particularly in the urban areas like Kampala. The space of a polling station is so small. Now if you, because I've had some candidates say, when you cast your vote, don't go away. Now a polling station with 600 voters, or 1,000 as you say, although the number of 1,000, I'm going to explain that number now. If you all gather there at a small location, you have candidates agents numbering about 60. You think these people, the 300 voters, will keep silent? They will keep just seated like they are seated in a classroom or in a church? In a church we even sing, but we sing in an orderly manner. There's bound to be some bit of chaos, There's bound to be some bit of, because you have all this mix of voters for this candidate, voters for this candidate. They are, each one is Bewaga, Wanga Kalide, Wanga Kalide. Then you before you know it, there's a commotion between these supporters. So that's why we say, you have cast your vote, please go. However, at the time of counting, yeah, you may be present, but you can only be present as not part of the counting. You are not participating in the counting. You are only watching or observing, seeing what is going on. The people, because I have seen some polling stations, you know what happens? Because the people, they gather all around the polling station. They are counting. Those who are standing 100 meters away, they all draw around. They surround these polling officials. As the presiding officer is counting, you hear the crowd taking over. Ako kafu, kafu. Now if the presiding officer says, no, see kafu, neda, kafu. Now, an atmosphere of intimidation is created at a polling station. Even when someone has put the tick on the face or on the symbol of that candidate, but not in the box created or which was put there for the tick or the thumbprint. Kafu anta tade mukifananyi akatade ku symbol kafu. No, the law says as long as the intention of the voter can be established, that karusi kafu kalamu. But the people there, the crowd, they don't know the law. They don't know the law distinguishes between, or the law allows, even though the tick, the authorized mark, is not in the correct box, but is put either on the symbol or on the photo of the candidate, because the people don't know, they in a big chorus, kafu. Then this person is intimidated. Why? Bagambi kafu. So that's why we say, the people did not go through training. We shall have trained the agents. We shall have trained our polling officials to understand, to be able to discern the intention of the voter before you declare a ballot paper kafu or is invalid. But the mob, I'm sorry to use this term, at times the people around seem to take over the whole process. So that's why we say, please, voter protector is alien in the electoral laws. It's not known. You have your agents. If you want, quote, voter protectors, your agents can play that role. But don't give people tags. And what do you call these things? These jackets, what do they call them? Like we put on for easy. What do they call them? Jackets with the voter protector for candidate Gundi. I am saying, and then you walk with the swag into the polling station, you will be arrested. Period. We don't want people to create their own things, and they think that I will say this is how it is going to be. It's not going to be like that. And I'm saying it unequivocally, that anyone who comes masquerading as a voter protector at a polling station, when that identity or concept is not known in our electoral laws, is not acceptable. You are bound to be arrested. Don't waste your time printing or making tags, giving them to your people that these are voter protectors. Agents are supposed to be given, your agents are supposed to be given a letter of appointment by the candidate. I've appointed Shami Munawakoza, my agent, at this polling station. The letter will be handed over to the presiding officer. For those who will be accredited as observers in that sub-county where these polling stations are, they'll be given tags by the commission. But you sit in your party headquarters and elsewhere, you print things, Simanya voter protector. I have said, and I repeat, that is not known in our electoral concepts and laws. Those people will be treated as masqueraders and they stand to be arrested. Secondly, let the process of counting votes be for the polling officials and the candidates, agents, or the observers, if any, who will be at that polling station. Please, let us respect the laws. Because whatever is done in elections is determined, guided by the law, and nothing else. Now, on the candidates who campaign at night, violating, or candidates who are campaigning at night, violating other regulations or guidelines, as I said, next week we are going to have our meeting with their agents, the Uganda Police Force. We are going to talk about all these things. Then after that, if need be, we shall name them. Don't worry, we shall name them. EC register, NRM has 20. For you have 21. Isn't it shameful? It's not shameful at all. First of all, we are not involved in the process of preparing the NRM register. They can say they have 40 million. They can say they have any number. But for us, what we are saying, for us to have 21 million voters, and those are the ones who will be allowed to vote at the polling stations. The register that is going to be utilized is that of the Electoral Commission, not of a political party. So a political party can have their numbers, 1,000, 10 million, 20 million, 30 million. We have no problem with that. But for us, what we are saying, the people who are eligible voters, as per our data, are 21.6 million. So there's nothing shameful about that. Okay, somebody raised, I think he raised it in Uganda. The candidates say they are not the ones who invite these people who follow them. No, for us, we are lawyers. This is what we call circumstantial evidence. You may not have direct evidence on something, but you look at the circumstantial evidence. Tell me, you are going to this designated venue. You are heading there. But you move in such a manner, you're on top of your vehicle, you are waving to everybody, you are moving at a speed 20, maybe less than even 20 kilometers per hour. What do you see this as? Isn't this encouraging, enticing people to join you? What is wrong with you driving directly to your campaign venue, as we have seen some candidates do? What's wrong? Let the candidates try that. Let the candidates drive directly to the designated campaign venues, and then we see how security or anybody will come in to interrupt them. But you are moving with a sea of people at snail pace speed. You are on top of your vehicle, waving to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Then people are joining you. Then before you know it, you have a huge crowd, a mass of people covering the entire road. For goodness sake. Then you tell me we don't invite these people. You are encouraging them by your conduct. So this must stop. You're encouraging them. You're the one encouraging them. Uganda Catholic campaign regulations. And it's fairing learners. Let me say this for the beginning. Maybe I push it to you. In our schools, do we have people who are voters? Do we have some people who are voters in our schools? I have been going to secondary schools myself as chairman. I've been talking to students. And the first question I would ask, how many of you are registered voters? Quite a number would raise their hands. Those who are 18, those who are in senior 5 or 6, they are voters. And those are people, they are also supposed to vote. They are some of them are on the voters register. So when they are allowed to attend a rally, I don't see what problem there is. But what I don't understand is whether these people are being told, stop your lessons, you go and attend the rally, or whether the people who are the students who are being ferried, they are non-voters. I don't know. I'm not appraised of all the circumstances or the factors concerning these students. But the students, we have a number of students who are voters, and I think these students also should make an informed choice of who they should vote for come polling. And mind you, you remember polling takes place during holidays, January 15th. I think all except maybe a few universities, but most of the students will be at home during holidays, so they will also participate in elections. So I think the students also deserve to know who is the credible candidate, who is the right candidate, whom we should vote for, but when we exercise our constitutional right. Now, Jamila, yes, we have, I think that's why we are able to come out now with a final figure of 21.6 something million, because we have finished cleaning the register. That's why we're coming up with that figure. Okay, thank you. Now, I think I've answered that one. EC the use of the manual register. You know, you see, if you go to the law, it says the EC shall issue a register for each polling station, and each candidate is entitled to a copy of the register of his or her constituency. Now, and that register is supposed to be given to the to the agents of the candidate at a polling station, to enable them confirm the identity of the voter who is coming to vote. So the manual register is still in use at a polling station, and that's what the law provides. However, in the advent of technology, whatever is put on the kit must be on the manual register. If you are not on the manual register, if a voter or voters' particulars are not on the manual register, they cannot be on the biometric kit for that polling station. He or she will not be there. So the manual register is still fundamental. But we are saying, unlike in the past, where one would come, Byabakama would come, okay, with only use of manual register, he votes. When he comes back, maybe towards 4 p.m., maybe these voters, these officials are already tired. They cannot tell whether Byabakama voted or not. He votes again. Now you will be biometrically identified. The kit, if you come back, you try again to put your thumbprint, your thumb on the kit, it will tell you you have already voted. We shall carry out the demonstration. And really it is our desires commission to do to the media. Because for you, you tell the people, this is what we have seen. When I will try to vote the second time, this is what the machine said. So that's why, but I want to assure you that the manual register will be available, and each candidate will be given a copy of that register to disseminate it to their agents. The law is there. The law says the Electoral Commission may use technology in managing elections. The law is there. That says may. And we think that given the world we are living in now, we cannot deny the importance of technology, especially where some of our people are prone to cheating elections. Some of our people are prone to cheating elections. That's why this system has been improved and upgraded to ensure that cheaters, if I may call them that, vote cheaters do not get their way this time. The law is there. Now, breakdown of voters per region. Dorothy, I think it's very important. You can have the statistics. For us, we have our own regions. These are the Electoral Commission's regions. Albertine, Bulisa, Hoima, Hoima City, Kagadi, Kakumero, Kibale, Kikube, Kiliano, Masindi, 1,206,393 registered voters in total in Albertine region. Central North, for us Central North is Kayunga, Kiboga, Kiankwanzi, Luwero, Nakaseke, Nakasongola. 1,003,745 total number of voters. Central North, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 districts. Central South, for us in EC, our Central South region is Bukomansimbi, Butambala, Gomba, Kalangala, Kalungu, Kasanda, Kiotera, Luengo, Liantonde, Masaka district, Masaka city, Mitiana, Mpigi, Mubende, Rakai, Sembabule. It's about how many districts? Quite a number. About 16 districts. Total number of registered voters, 2,075,164. 2,075,164. Total number of registered voters in that region, Central South. Eastern region. For us in EC, our eastern region is Amuria, Bukedea, Kaberamaido, Kalaki, Kapelebion, Katakwi, Kumi, Ngora, Serere, Soroti, and Soroti City. The total number of registered voters is 1,096,255. Elgon region comprises of Budaka, Bududa, Bukuo, Bulambuli, Busia, Butaleja, Butebo, Kabuchorwa, Kibuku, Kwen, Manafa, Mbale district, Mbale city, Mistindo, Palisa, Sironko, Tororo. It's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 17 districts. The total number is 2,188,393. 2,188,393. Kampala region. For us, Kampala region comprises of Buikwe, Buvuma, Kampala, Mukono, Wakiso. The total number of voters 3,796,471. 3,796,471. Comprises of Abim, Amudat, Kabong, Karenga, Kotido, Moroto, Natuk, Nakapiripirit, Napak. Total number of registered voters 425,044. 425,44. Kira region, not Kira municipality. Kira region comprises of Kaliro, Kamuli, Luka, Mayuge, Namayingo, Namutamba, Bugiri, Bugweri, Buyende, Iganga, Jinja City, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 districts. 2,154,103 registered voters. Midwest comprises of Bundibujo, Bunyangabu, Fort Potro City, Kabarole, Kamwenge, Kasese, Kitagwenda, Kiegegwa, Kienjojo, and Intoroko. Total number of registered voters is 1,542,524. Northern region. Agago, Tong, Amorata, Amur, Apache, Dokolo, Guru City, Kitugum, Kole, Kwania, Lamuo, Lira City, Nuoya, Omoro, Otuke, Oyam, Padel. 2,074,138 registered voters. Southwest region, which comprises of Oweju, Bushenyi, Ibanda, Isingiro, Kabale, Ungu, Kazo, Kiruhura, Kisoro, Mbarara City, Mitoma, Tungamo, Rwanda, Rubirizi, Ruchiga, Rukunjiri, Rwampara, Shema. Total number of voters 2,724,128. Finally, West Nile region, which comprises of Adjumani, Arua City, Koboko, Madiokoro, Maracha, Moyo, Nebi, Obongi, Pakwach, Terego, Yumbe, Zombo. Total number of registered voters 1,394,340. Total 21,681. 491. So those are the total number of breach of campaign guidelines. Police are spraying people at campaign rally. I think this is an operational matter over which I'm not competent to comment. I don't know when the police decide to deploy which tools or gadgets of their trade in what situation. I don't think I can respond to that. Mr. Kena saying is still in the race, where I know the people who are in the race are those who are nominated as presidential candidates, and they are campaigning. I think Mr. Kena is aware as to the reasons why he was not nominated. I think the problem started from their party. Their party has internal conflicts which have been raging for a number of years. They have remained unresolved on the issue of leadership of the party. I think he's aware. But if he says he's in the race, well, it's up to him. He can give you more details about that. Now, on the issue of their polling stations, with only 200 voters, and others with 1,200. Now, in order for us to have this kit operate in the manner we wanted to, we were compelled to reduce the number of voters, especially in these high-density polling stations, especially in Kampala and other big urban areas. So where polling station had 1,200 voters in 2021, we have had to split that polling station to reduce the numbers to about 600 or slightly above, but no longer 1,200, because we realize if we keep those high numbers, given the very methodical processes a voter will have to be taken through, the time may not be there to handle all these numbers and close polling early. So that's why we have reduced the polling stations. It's true, there are some polling stations in some areas which are sparsely populated, like Karamoja, where you may find a polling station may not have 600. But remember, one of the factors that we have to take into consideration when creating a polling station is convenience of the voters. If you are going to say in a Makindye, they have about 200 voters, so they don't deserve a polling station, we move them to Kawempe. No, you are inconveniencing the voters. You'd rather put the polling station in that location where they are, few as they are, so that they are not disenfranchised or inconvenienced by traveling long distances. We are not aligned to any political party in distributing the money to political parties. The formula is determined by the law, and that's what we follow. And the law was amended, I think sometime this year, to say the political parties which are represented in parliament and are aligned or have a relationship or are part of IPOD, they are the ones to be funded from these funds the Electoral Commission gets from government. It's the law. So if a political party does not subscribe to IPOD, the law says, so koterezo mukago gwo over membership yo na IPOD. So it's not the commission. We don't align ourselves to any political party, to any particular political party, and giving no, it's on numerical strength the number of parliamentarians the political party has, and if the party is part of IPOD. Awo tetulina kyekubiira beegayiridde. This registration of political party, the process of registering political parties is not determined by the commission. It is in accordance with the law. It's the law which prescribes the number of supporters you should obtain from the number of districts in the country. It's the same law which prescribes the number of supporters a presidential candidate or aspirant is supposed to get from a district before becoming eligible to be nominated. So it's the law which prescribes, not us. When do we expect to dispose of the petitions? We have been disposing of some. As I said, we have been sitting since 11th September up to today. Even on Saturday we were here. Even on Sunday. We no longer have weekends. And my people, we have been leaving this place very late in the night. At times at 10 p.m., 11 p.m., midnight, because we want to clear these petitions. But as I've said, we have already started issuing decisions. We have already started. Only that, as I said, there are some things we don't come to announce. Say, kakato lwalero tufulumiza gundi tugambya yewandise. Agundi tumujjeyo. No, these things we communicate to the relevant people, the parties in the petition, and we inform them this is the decision. Either you are wrongly nominated or stay there. So that's what we do. We have been disposing of them, but we want to make sure that we complete this process as quickly as possible. Now, on how much money did we collect? Now, how much do we retain? I wish we were retaining some, but we don't retain even a coin of that money. That money goes direct to, I think, consolidated fund. It is paid through a URA portal or something. It's part of government revenue. The commission does not retain any coin. So if we want money for activities, we have to go to the treasury and say, please give us money to do this. We don't even touch that money at all. It's not for the commission. It's government revenue. Now, the number of candidates who are disqualified for presenting improper or wrong academic documents, why don't we follow them up? I think we are carrying out our mandate as Electoral Commission to verify whether this candidate had the requirements to qualify for nomination for that position or to contest that position. The issue of following up the wrong about his or academic papers belong to other entities of government, not us. For us, we are only doing our bit. Other government entities or agencies can take up the matter. Yes, what sanctions against people like those who are witnessing Kiruhura? Again, that is a matter for the relevant government agency to take up. We have already talked to the police and said, please, we need these matters investigated, because we don't want some of these things to go unanswered or unattended to. So any wrong that is committed, which amounts to a criminal offense, should be investigated by the relevant agencies and action taken in line with the law. Some petitioners are perpetually here. Yeah, but you know, one thing that we have noticed about these petitions, people are extremely vigilant. That's one thing we have noticed. People are extremely vigilant. Women from Gwen, there were about 4 women who came from Gwen. They were contesting, I think one was complaining against another who was a member of the district land board, that this one is a member of the district land board. She did not resign. The law says she should have resigned before contesting. Then another was accusing the other of being a member of the school, I think school board or something. Even another one said she's a member of the LOC. No? So the people are very vigilant, which is good. Very vigilant. They have hired lawyers. They have come with the lawyers to the commission to argue their cases. So for us, we see this as a good sign that people are adopting civil means, civil lawful methods of resolving conflicts, which is very good. It's good for democracy. It's good for our rule of law. That's what we want. People should not take the law in their own hands. Follow the due process. Therefore, this number of petitions to us is an indicator of vigilance. Is an people. When I hear people saying, "Akakiko kebyokulonda tutakoina mu bwesigwa," means I laugh until I can't laugh anymore. Omuntu nava ekweni, omuntu nava ekarenga, omuntu nava simanyiwa ebundi bujo najja nasiiba wano olunaku lwonna babadde basiba wano kuva ku makya abalanga tubawuliza ssaawa nyazi ekiro. Lwaki? Kubanga kakiiko kalinamu ki obwesige, amanyi nti ensonga zaabwe tugenda oziwuliza bulungi. Era walimu abamu baavaayo ne batugamba ne batwebaza ne bagamba ekisooka njagala kubeebaza akakiiko mutuyisiza ng'abantu kye tubadde tetusuubira. Banange nyesunako nyesunira ddala. They appreciated that we handled them well, we listened to their matter, ne tubamwaganya, tubadde tugezaako bambi n'obalabira okulya akamere katonotono, so that because these are our Ugandans, this institution belongs to the people of Uganda. We must portray positive image. So when one individual comes up and shouts, akakiiko tetukakkirizamu ebyo bibyo naye bannayuganda basinga obungi batulinamu obwesige era kekitututeetera tutambula nga tujaganya kubanga bannayuganda batuteekamu obwesige. All right. Shamim. So the people who are perpetually here, they want justice. They want justice. And that's why they stay here. Some of them stay here from morning until night time, until we hear or handle their matters. That is keen interest and trust and confidence in the commission. The people who are arrested, whether they're of interest to the commission, Shamim, are we going to say because in electoral season, whoever the police arrests, we say kat police oyo mukute waje? No, we have said even when we are in an electoral season, the maintenance of law and order must continue. Does not mean that because we are in elections, law and order should be shunted or put aside. No, the law must continue to operate. Any suspected offender must be dealt with. The issue is when you have arrested the offender, where do you put him? Do you subject him or her to the due process of the law or not? I think that is, to me, that is the critical thing. But to say that police don't arrest people during elections, even at a campaign rally, if you are not complying with the law. In fact, the police have been saying that they have been damaging their property, their vehicles. I think they said the other day somewhere, some people vandalized or damaged their vehicle. They were looking for the suspects. So should we say that police don't disturb the people? Although they have committed an offense? Not at all. Did the due process determine whether they are innocent or guilty? The use of dogs, Shamim, again that is an operational matter which I'm not competent to comment upon. I don't know in what circumstances or what informs the police to deploy dogs. I'm not competent. I'm not an expert on dogs. So you can ask the police that question. Okay? It's an operational matter. So they are preserved to know when to use them, not use them. What assurance? Voters? Yes, we are concerned. Ivan, we are very concerned about the low voter turnout. And we have said in our various engagements, I think this should not only be of concern to the commission, it should be concerned even to the political parties, to the candidates, that of these 21 million registered voters, can't we mobilize all of them to come and vote? Why should we have only half voting? Why? So the commission can only appeal to the people that please, it is your right, it is your constitutional right. The power belongs to you, the people, and therefore you should exercise that power by choosing a leader or leaders of your choice. And that day is coming. Don't blame anyone. When a leader of you do not like or approve of is elected because you do not exercise your right, others did so. That was the leader they felt was good for them. So don't complain. So we are going to intensify sensitization, mobilization, voter education efforts to make sure we mobilize as many people as possible for the 2026 general elections, and they turn up to vote in big numbers. Security, as I have said, the role of security is to ensure law and order is maintained. Number one. Secondly, the fact that we have elections does not mean calling people to order. Those who are about to commit crimes or suspected of committing crimes should be given a carte blanche to continue what they are doing, which is not acceptable within the law. The only thing that we have been engaging and urging the police, let the due process of the law be followed in dealing with such suspects, because a person is innocent until proven guilty. So let's subject them to the due process of the law and let the courts of law determine their innocence or their guilt. And whatever we do, the police are required to act within the law. The Law Uganda Police Act, the Penal Code Act, and so many other laws define how a suspect should be handled. I think first of all, should be handled with dignity, should be handled with civility, and it should be handled with a manner that respects the rights of that suspect or individual. Level ground, yes, tell us, where is the ground not level? You are the one, tell us. Here the ground is not level. Me, I don't know. The level ground, to me, I think the ground is level. Not I know, I believe the ground is level. But tell us where the ground is not level so that we can correct that area. Is any person being disadvantaged? Is anyone being denied opportunity to campaign? And I have said that provided, and I repeat, provided a candidate, be it presidential, parliamentary, or government, is going about his or her campaign process in a lawful manner, in a law-abiding manner, in a manner that complies with the guidelines, that candidate will not be disturbed at all. But if you want to act in a manner that portrays you as untouchable, the law does not recognize that. You'll be dealt with. Simple. Okay, now I think I'm coming to the end of the questions. Jude says I'm being accused of not having powers over how. How am I not having powers? I'm the returning officer for presidential candidates. I'm the one who nominated them the other day. If I had not nominated them, who would be running around as they are doing now? Nobody. Secondly, the commission is in charge of all these processes. But, and I want people to understand this, there are certain facets or activities that are pertinent, that are part and parcel of the electoral process, which the commission does not directly manage. Law enforcement, that's the preserve of the Uganda Police Force. Ensuring the stability in the country, ensuring that the country is well preserved and protected. That's the work of the Uganda People's Defense Forces, the work of the army. Ensuring that candidates campaign, the voters are sensitized and approached and reached by the candidates. That's the work of the candidates, political parties, or their supporters. Primarily and overall, the commission remains and shall remain in charge. But for you to feel that because this particular agency or entity is handling me in a manner I don't like, and therefore the commission has failed, you are being disingenuous and dishonest yourself. Why does it take us time to respond? See, as a commission, you receive, you analyze, you assess, then you determine the way forward. Ours is not about populism. Ours is about informed decision premised on the facts and the circumstances. That's why we come out and speak when it is necessary, not when people think we should speak. Finally, Bakawulindi, handling complaints, I think I've tackled this. How far have we gone? We have been listening, and also passing decisions as possible. But I think the greatest time has been taken by listening, because we want to listen to all these complaints and then take decisions. I think we have already issued a number of decisions. There are those indeed who complained that our returning officer denied that person the right to be nominated, and yet they felt they had everything required. We have looked at the evidence, we invited these people, we called the returning officer and put him or her there to listen to what this person is saying. When I reached the nomination venue, this is what the returning officer did. This is how they handled me. Then we asked the returning officer. He or she says, this is what we did. This is what this candidate had. Then after that, we take a decision. There are quite a number whom we have told, go and get nominated. Even this week, I think. There are quite a number who said, get nominated. There are those whom we have denominated. For example, you presented an academic qualification. The issuing entity says, we have never issued that degree or certificate. What do? You did not have the required academic qualifications. So that is one of the requirements. Do you know, even these petitions of signatures and so on, some of the candidates were putting names of dead people as supporters. Then the child of the dead person says, but that is my father. He died 2 years ago. Nyewunya yavaya atya muntana okuwagira candidate on. These are the things we are hearing. One of the persons who said, I do not support that guy. I don't even know him. We asked her, do you know this? We asked the candidate, do you know this lady? Then how did you get this person to support you? I think even whatever people are joking around. You just go somewhere, you get names of people, you put on the list, and supporter. I don't know how they get the names. Maybe the names are there. Never take a komanya. Nti oyina okufuna abawagizi amanya gaabwe, voter number yaabwe, ekyalo n'omulimu ne signature. It is in the law. The particulars of the voter, onini, activity, village, and the signature. It's a question of, it's not that when someone says I not support that person, automatically we say no. We have a way of determining on a chayogera chitufu or si chitufu. So that's why we are, when people think that we are delaying and so on and so forth, no, we don't. We want to make sure that the decision we give is indeed considered and it is in line with the law, the facts or the evidence. Figures. I don't have the figures, but as I said, in our usual transparent manner of doing things, we shall inform the country of how many have been denominated and how many have been nominated, I think, at the end of the exercise. Now, on the issue of gazetting, the unopposed, the law says if a candidate is at the time of nomination unopposed, the Election Commission shall gazette those persons or that individual. Now, you know, gazette is a very expensive process. Let me tell you this. For us to put a gazette, how much does it cost, Richard? 2.4 million for you per day to issue, per page to issue a gazette. So we said, instead of putting one name, gazette, then the following get another one, then the following get another one, why don't we compile all of them together? So we have, I think, more or less done the compilation. And if we are not mistaken, within this week, the gazette of those who have been nominated and opposed should be coming out. It's not something we are hiding from the people. So you will know from the gazette who are the people who are unopposed. Even some, by the way, have been going through in this process here. The other day, I think one of the candidates who had been complained against, I think when he realized the one, he withdrew from the race. The other one was challenging academic qualifications. That in popular bituli. Now when we invited the man to come, he did not come. Second day, he did not come. The third time, we received a notice. I'm withdrawing from this race from MOP. So our process is very, very strict. Very strict. It's very strict in accordance with the law and the facts. So it's not something we could be rakolaki. Mwebale nyo mwebale dera mukama bankumire tujja kulabagana ebujja. Mwebale. Songa ya double registration. That's why it has taken us time okutegeeza abantu nti register eyimiridde bweti nga tetuna forum ya final register tuyina ogikiliininga, tuyina ogirongoosa tulabe nti Byabakama mu register alimu emirundi emmeka. Oyina kubeeramu mulundi gumu gwokka, akiteke polling station bweti emu yokka. Every voter must be at only one polling station. So the issue of double registration of voters is part of the cleaning process that we undertake to make sure all those who are double registered are cleansed. And a double registration can happen, maybe someone lost his national ID, okay? Then he goes to NIRA, applies like he or she is applying afresh as a new entrant. Then they capture him or his particulars. Maybe he managed to pass through without saying this is already registered. Okay, so these are the way some of these double registrations can come. But the Electoral Commission puts in place what we call the deduplication process to clean the register, remove all these double registrations. That's what we do, and that's why it has taken us all this period before we tell the people. Now this is the final count as far as the National Voters Register is concerned. Now there's another question here. Yes, we have this threat. You know, with every positive development, there always is a negative side to it. We now have social media. We have this emerging trend of using digital platforms to create fake videos, fake news, unfounded allegations. Like I have it on my phone, someone posted me something. I think this is what they call artificial intelligence. They put in my photograph in my good suit too. Then I was saying, the people, they have their right to protect their vote. Even you could see that your voice was not mine. UPDF, you should leave people to come and protect their vote. This is what the artificial intelligence, that's what it means. That's not artificial intelligence, it is idiot intelligence in my view. It's not artificial intelligence. You create something that is not real. That's not being artificial intelligence, idiotically intelligent, I think. So, but this is a threat really. This is a danger. Creating fake news. I think even my PRO, Julius Musinguzi, has also been, Muchunguzi rather, he has also fake AI engineered or generated video, which is attributed to him. Well, while digital platforms are important, we want to call upon Ugandans to use them responsibly. And please cross-check. Before you call me chairman, are they saying you are the one who is promoting now? The other day you were telling us, see, voter protectors are not known in the law. But now you are saying that the people should do. But anyway, this is what we are living in. Thank you, Julius, and our invited guests. Good morning. Muli bulungi? Naffe tuli bulungi. Kiki ekigaane? Tewali kigaanye wano. Katonda gyali. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, I'm pleased to welcome you to the Electoral Commission on this press briefing to appraise the nation through you, the esteemed members of the Fourth Estate, about the progress we are making so far, or we have made, in implementing the 2025-26 general elections roadmap. On behalf of the Electoral Commission, I would like to thank you for your continued role in ensuring that citizens are made aware of the different aspects of the electoral process, and thereby contributing to enabling them make informed decisions and choices about who will lead them, as provided for in Article 1, Clause 4 of the 1995 Constitution. I will begin with the progress of implementation of the roadmap. Since the roadmap for the 2025-26 general elections was launched in August 2023 and revised in July 2024, the Commission has been able to accomplish the following milestones. 1. We have successfully completed the demarcation of local government electoral areas and the reorganization of polling stations for the general elections. We have also undertaken the general update of the National Voters Register, as well as compiling the special interest groups registers. We've been able to conduct the public display of the National Voters Register. We have also been able to conduct the elections of special interest groups, committees, from the village to national level. We have also conducted nomination of candidates for presidential, general parliamentary, and local government councils elections. As a result of the above activities and others, some of the basic statistics for the 2026 general elections are as follows. Number of districts in Uganda as of 13th November 25, 146. Number of counties, 312. Number of constituencies, 353. Number of sub-counties, or towns or municipal divisions, 2,191. Number of parishes, 10,717. Number of villages, 71,214. Number of polling stations, 50,739. Number of registered voters, 21,681,491. 21,681,491. Out of this total number of registered voters, The male voters are 10,334,362. 10,334,362, which makes 47% of the total number of registered voters. And the female voters are 11,347,129, which translates into 53% of the registered voters. So the female voters are much more than the male. The Commission would once again wish to urge all the registered voters to turn up on the respective polling days to exercise their right to vote and choose leaders of their choice at all levels. The Electoral Commission will soon issue or begin issuance of the voter allocation slips to the voters across the country, detailing or particularizing their respective polling stations to enable them conveniently locate their respective polling stations on polling day. We are directing the EC staff, especially the parish supervisors, under the supervision of the sub-county supervisors and the district election administrators, to make sure that every voter gets his or her voter location slip. The next item I would like to talk about is the nomination of candidates. Following the conclusion of the nominations, a total of 83,597 candidates were nominated to contest for the 45,505 elective positions, right from president to sub-county councillor. The nominated candidates were flagged off to conduct campaigns at all levels, following the guidelines issued by the Commission. However, and unfortunately, since nominations, some of the nominated candidates at different levels have since passed on, and the Commission has therefore, in accordance with Section 26 of the Parliamentary Elections Act, set aside or appointed Thursday 27th and Friday 28th of November this year as the dates for conducting fresh nominations in the various electoral areas across the country. Because that's what the law says, that where a candidate dies before polling, the Electoral Commission shall conduct fresh nominations to fill that gap. However, those who were already nominated for that position and are still alive will not have to go through another nomination process. Those ones will remain nominated candidates. Now the particulars of the said are as follows. Name of deceased: Tumwikirize Kakuba Pejero, District Kasanda, position contested sub-county chairperson, Party Independent, electoral area Manyogaseka sub-county. Next is Kubao Patrick, deceased, District Kabong, position contested male older persons representing Loyoro sub-county. That's the electoral area. The other deceased candidate is Woti Julius Paul, Bududa District, sub-county directly elected councillor, Party NRM, electoral area Bukwahata, Bukibokolo sub-county, Ugandan names. Next deceased candidate Akelo Joan, District Kwania. Position District Woman Councillor, Party NRM, Electoral Area IRB Town Council. The other deceased candidate is Sembuzi Gerald, Nakasongola District. Position Sub-County directly elected councillor, Party NRM, Electoral Area Kisalizi, Rwampanga Sub-County. The other deceased candidate is Nagudi Beth Sironko District. Position Sub-County Woman elected councillor, Party NRM, Electoral Area Bukise Sub-County. The other candidate, the deceased candidate is Mweba Rachel District Tororo. Sub-County Woman Councillor, NRM, Electoral Area Asinget Kayoro Sub-County. As mentioned, all these are local government positions. And as mentioned earlier, those who are already nominated are not going to be part of this fresh nomination exercise. Aspiring candidates, therefore, for those positions in those areas are advised to obtain nomination forms and guidelines for the respective local government council elective position from their district electoral commission offices, or obtain soft copies of the forms and guidelines from the Electoral Commission website, www.ec.or.ug. Polling dates. Although we have announced this before, but we keep reminding people through you. Following the conclusion of the nomination at all levels, the Commission appointed the polling dates for the various elective positions under the general elections roadmap. As by way of reminder, the following are the dates for the information with the general public. Elections of the President and members of Parliament, both directly elected and district woman representative, 15th January 2026. National Conference for Election of Persons with Disabilities Representatives to Parliament, 19th January 2026. Election of councillors representing special interest groups, that is youth, older persons, and PWDs at sub-county, town, or municipal division, 19th January 2006. Election of councillors representing special interest groups, youth, older persons, PWDs at municipality or city division, 20th January 2026. National Conference for Election of Workers Representatives to Parliament, 21st January 2026. Elections of district local government councils, that is, district or city chairpersons, Lord Mayor, mayors, and councillors, 22nd January 2026. Elections of municipality stroke city division chairpersons and councillors, 27th January 2026. National Conference for Election of National Female Youth Representative to Parliament, 28th January 2026. National Conference for Election of National Female Older Persons Representative to Parliament, 28th January 2026. Army Council Meeting for Election of UPDF Representatives to Parliament, 28th January 2026. Election of councillors representing special interest groups at the district or city level, 29th January 2026. Regional Conference for Election of Older Persons Representatives to Parliament, 2nd February 2026. Elections of sub-county, stroke town or municipal division chairpersons and councillors, 4th February 2026. Finally, regional conferences for election of regional youth representatives to Parliament, 6th January 2026. In other words, the elections that are stipulated in Article 61 Clause 2 shall all be held between 15th January and 6th February, including for the special interest groups. We wish to call upon all stakeholders, political parties, the candidates, observers, security agencies, civil society, and the electorate to take note of the respective polling dates and prepare accordingly to participate meaningfully in the elections. The other matter I want to talk about is the management of petitions arising out of the nomination exercise. The handling of petitions and complaints are an essential and legitimate part of the electoral process. The Commission received several petitions arising from the recently concluded nomination exercise. In total, the Commission received about 300 petitions and complaints, mostly arising out of the nomination exercise at local government and parliamentary levels. Each petition has been carefully considered and determined based on the law, the Commission's constitutional mandate, and the evidence, as well as the merits of each case. I would like to state that while the number of 300 may appear high, when you consider that is taken out of, or they arise out of over 83,000 nominated candidates for 45,505 elective positions, it becomes clear that the majority of the nominations were undertaken and concluded without any complaint or grievance. Nonetheless, the Commission remains committed to ensuring fair, just, and timely resolution of all matters submitted before it. The other activity that we have undertaken and is still ongoing is the production of ballot papers for the general elections. And we procured the services of reputable international and local printing firms to produce the ballot papers for the 2026 general elections. For presidential, directly elected member of parliament, district women representatives to parliament, district/city chairpersons, district/city directly elected councillors, district/city women councillors, the award was given to Al Ghurair Printing and Publishing LLC in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. For sub-county, town, municipal division chairpersons, the contract was awarded to Uniprint SA, Durban, South Africa. For sub-county, town, municipal division, directly elected councillors, the contract was awarded to Inform Lycos, Hellas, Athens, Greece. Together, this one also includes sub-county, town, municipal division, women councillors. Then for councillors representing special interest groups at the district, city, municipality, sub-county, town, municipal division, local governments, Sintel Security, Nairobi, Kenya. Then for municipalities, city division chairpersons, and women councillors, the contract was awarded to Peak Fair Industries Limited, Uganda. Then for municipality, city division, directly elected councillors, Graphics Systems, Kampala, Uganda. The production of ballot papers for the various elective positions is currently underway and progressing well. The Commission advises political parties which are contesting the presidential elections to submit the names of their official agents who will be accredited to witness the delivery of the ballot papers at the airport in the case of ballot papers which are printed out of the country, and eventual delivery at our warehouses in the case of ballot papers and other election materials printed within the country. This measure is intended to ensure transparency and stakeholder confidence in the handling of election materials. I'd also like to update the country upon the technology to be deployed during polling for 2026 general elections. The Electoral Commission is empowered under the law to adopt and use technology in the management of elections. Specifically, Statutory Instrument number 2 of 2021 enjoins the Commission to use technology in the electoral processes. Accordingly, the Commission has procured 109,142 by 109,142 biometric voter verification kits, or BVVK, which will be deployed for the 26 general elections as a measure aimed at improving the management and conduct of elections through authentication of voter identity of the correct voter or the right voter. Out of these 60,000 kits have so far been delivered in the country, and the balance of 49,142 kits is expected at the end of this month, this November. The BVK basically uses fingerprints and facial recognition. This is a new feature. If your fingerprints are worn out, we should be able to recognize you by the face. There is an application in the kit which will identify you or recognize you by your face, so as to match voter details, which will help the presiding officer to confirm the identity of the voter as being the one on the voter's register of that polling station. The system will enable the Commission to ensure that only registered voters or persons vote or are given ballot papers to vote during the elections, and that such persons or voters do not vote more than once for that same election. Hence, it will help the Commission achieve the one man, one woman vote principle. But we want you to note that this system of BVVK was first deployed in the 2016 general elections. It was slightly improved and used again in 2021 general elections. This system for 2026 has now been further upgraded. These devices will be deployed to all the 50,739 polling stations to enhance credibility in the electoral process. Currently, the Commission is conducting the exercise of recruitment of the 50,739 persons who will be operating these machines at each polling station on the various polling days. The Commission is also conducting recruitment of 1,050 persons who will be trainers for the operators. We must have people who will train the operators who will be working on at the polling stations. Now these are 1,050. So that's the process we are backing. But we are also now, for the moment, I think, training our own people who will take part in training the trainers. Okay? At the same time, the Commission has commenced training of technical staff who will in turn be trainers of trainers to ensure that there is full knowledge of how to operate the kits by all staff involved. A stakeholder engagement program featuring public demonstration of the kit, because people have been asking me, but you are aware, you are not telling the people about the kit, you are not sensitizing the people. That is coming. So a stakeholder engagement program featuring public demonstration of the kit will commence in the coming days, during which representatives of all political parties and candidates, election observers, civil society groups, the media, and the general public will be taken through practical rehearsal sessions about how the kits work. Our silence for now is not because we want to keep this thing secret or we don't want the people to know. No, the hallmark of our operations is transparency and inclusivity. For now, we want to prepare everything, the trainers, those who will be able to carry the public through these processes, test the kit with the involvement of members of the public. So that's why for now, we felt we need to hold on until we go out and sensitize the public about the process. Of election observers and the media is also another aspect. The Electoral Commission is mandated under Section 16, subsection 1, the Electoral Commission Act, to accredit any individual, group or institution to act as election observers. Accreditation of the observers will be done both at the Electoral Commission headquarters and in the districts or cities across Uganda. Right now, we are receiving a number of applications from both local and international groups, missions, embassies, missions, international bodies, regional bodies, continental bodies who want to observe our elections. And for us, we are accredited as many as those who have expressed interest, provided they meet the basic criteria. So all international and national observers who will be working in Kampala region, which comprises the districts of Mukono, Wakiso, and Kampala, will be accredited from the Electoral Commission headquarters in Kampala. National observers for the rest of the districts will be accredited at the respective city/district Electoral Commission offices by the district accreditation committees. The Commission will accredit national and international election observers and media practitioners who wish to follow and report on the electoral processes. Accreditation of observers is essential for ensuring transparency, professionalism, and orderly conduct during one pre-polling period. Right now we are in the pre-polling period. Then the polling days, vote counting process, results to declaration processes, and then the post-polling processes. The media houses and observer groups are encouraged to submit their applications early to avoid delays. Campaigns for the 2026 general elections. As mentioned earlier, the campaign period for candidates contesting the various elective positions is currently underway. Issued campaign guidelines which were well shared with all political parties, candidates, stakeholders, and members of the public. The Commission wishes to appreciate those candidates and their supporters who have complied with the campaign guidelines, particularly in observing the harmonized campaign program, the agreed venues, the campaign time, and using suitable language. This has enabled the smooth conduct of campaigns in many parts of the country. We have, however, noted incidences where some candidates, their agents, or supporters have deviated from the guidelines. The following have been reported and or observed as some of the particular areas for non-compliance. 1. Organizing or holding processions along public roads that violate traffic rules and disrupt the mobility or movement of other people and trade in the affected areas, and which has sometimes resulted in what would have been avoidable confrontation with the law enforcement agencies. Secondly, some candidates are making impromptu stops and addressing the public in non-scheduled locations like markets, trading centers, wherever they find people, We want to address them. And yet the campaign program says you go to the designated campaign venue, which has been agreed upon with the participation or with consultations with the security of the area. The other breach or non-compliance is in the use of defamatory words and language, which incites disorder, hatred, and threatens or incites violence. The other issue is the tearing or removal or defacing of candidates' posters and banners. Then some areas we noted, like in I think in Kiruhura, where some people took it upon themselves to assault or to harass the supporters of a candidate who was in that area. All these acts are prohibited, they are not necessary, and they distort the good aspects of our electoral processes. We strongly condemn acts of violence, hooliganism, and intolerance that have been reported in some areas across the country. We also condemn acts of deliberate defiance and non-compliance with the guidelines as issued by the Electoral Commission. We wish to strongly appeal to all candidates, their agents, supporters, and the general public to adhere to lawful and peaceful campaign conduct. This is necessary and required for all the candidates to be compliant, to observe the guidelines, and ensure that they maintain law and order. Some of the candidates have been campaigning at night in real darkness, and yet the guidelines say campaigns should stop at 6 p.m. Some have even going on beyond 8 p.m., 9 p.m. This is wrong. The Commission has established the mechanism for receiving, hearing, and determining complaints and issues during the campaigns. The Commission has so far held 2 scheduled meetings with agents of presidential candidates and security in order to address any emerging issues of concern that have arisen during the campaigns. Next week we're again scheduled to have another meeting, because we have so far held 2. We hold them normally. We held one at the beginning of the presidential campaigns. After the first 30 days, we had another one. Now we are going to the second 30 days. We are going to have another one next week, where we believe we shall address many of these issues that have emerged, that have created some kind of distortion on the whole process that has hitherto been moving on smoothly. But it's not everywhere. It's not everywhere. Just a few individuals. I would like to state that the Commission will not hesitate to apply sanctions against any individual or political party or organization that violates the campaign guidelines or engages in activities that threaten the integrity of the electoral process. We wish to emphasize that compliance with the law remains a shared responsibility of all stakeholders in the electoral process. And as we have said time and again, the desire, the quest to have a peaceful, free, and fair election is on the shoulders of everybody who has a stake in the electoral process, not the Electoral Commission alone. Ask yourself, do I have a role or a stake to play in this general election? If I do, then whatever I'm required to do, let me do it in accordance with the law and the guidelines. Let me observe good conduct, civility, and common decency. Simple. All these things people are talking about, you see what is taking place, those things can end tomorrow. It's a question of choice. What do the actors choose to do is the primary question. If they choose to act in a manner that is law-abiding, you won't see any problem. In conclusion, I wish to assure the country that the Electoral Commission remains firmly in charge. I've heard people say, Electoral Commission is not in charge. They are keeping quiet. It's not that everything we do, we get on the microphone. There are so many things that we do, people don't know. All of them geared or aimed at ensuring that we have a credible process. When it is appropriate for us to come out and speak, we speak. And they alert the people and correct and make corrections and guide and counsel people on how they ought and are expected to behave or conduct themselves. We want to assure the country we are in charge. And we are firmly on course to fulfill our constitutional mandate in accordance with Articles 60 and 61 of the Constitution. To organize, conduct, and supervise regular, free, and fair, and transparent elections and referenda. Once again, let me say this. A credible electoral process is a shared responsibility. We continue to call upon all stakeholders, the political parties, candidates, their agents and supporters, security agencies, civil society groups, religious leaders, the business community, the media, as well as the public, to conduct themselves peacefully and in accordance with the people, with the law. As we move towards polling, the Commission remains committed to delivering the 2026 general elections in a transparent, timely, inclusive, and credible manner. We will continue to share timely updates as the electoral program progresses, and we urge all Ugandans to uphold peace, respect, and lawful participation throughout the entire electoral cycle. We want to urge all Ugandans to be tolerant with one another. Even if you don't agree with this candidate or you are not supporting that candidate, please, what he or she is doing is lawful. You have no right to take up sticks or stones or whatever and try to assault this candidate or discourage him or her from coming to your area or campaigning in your area. Let him or her be. So let us be tolerant. Let us be respectful and mindful that Uganda will always be there even after elections are concluded. Thank you for listening to me, for God and my country. Mwebale nnyo okuwagira kikiiko k'ebyokulonda. Buli kaseera tuba tulina ebitwagala okutegeeza eggwanga ebikwata ku biki bye tutambulirako, era mukola omulimu munene. Njagala kubeebaza ab'amawulire. Olwaleero twayise olukungaana luno okusobola okutegeeza eggwanga wa bwe tuyimiridde, biki bye tutuuseeko, biki ebigenda mu maaso, ate ne biki bye tusuubira nga tugenda nga tutambula nga tulindirira okulonda okwa omwaka guno 2026. Bitwakatuukako bitwakamaliriza kwe okulongoosa ebifo bironderwamu ne polling stations, enkalala z'abalonzi. Twamala okukola omulimu ogwo, twazitereeza, twatandika n'okulonda kwa special interest groups. Kati kaweefube waliwo kati ne twamaliza na okusunsulamu abagenda kwesimbawo mu bifo byonna, kuviira ddala ku pulezidenti kutuukira ddala mu bifo bya gavumenti z'ebitundu. Ku bye tukoze ebivuddemu kwegamba nti bye bino districts zetulina kati mu Uganda ziri 146, amasaza 312, constituencies za parliament 353, amagombolola oba towns oba municipal divisions 2,191, emiruka 1,717, ebyalo 7,214, polling stations 5,739, abannayuganda abalonzi abali ku nkala z'abalonzi bali obukadde 21, 6,891. Kwabo abalonzi bonna abakyala be basinga obungi. Abakyala bali bukadde 11, 11, 3,4,729. Abaami bali obukadde 10, 3,3,462. Twagala okunga abalonzi bonna obakubiriza nti ku lunaku lw'okulonda muveeyo mwenna mukozesa obuyinza bwamwe bwabaweebwa mu ssemateeka. Mu biseera bitali byawala tujja kuba tuweereza akapapula katuyita voter location slip akaliko amanya g'omulonzi ne polling station yagenda okulonderako. Kwegamba ku lunaku lw'okulonda aleme kusooka kwetooloola agenda ku polling station eno n'ajja eri naye amanye nti bwenva waka polling station eri gino. Tujja kuba tukozesa abantu baffe abali mu bitundu byonna by'eggwanga, aba supervisors abali ku miruka n'abali ku magombolola n'aba district election administrators mu kaweefube ono okulaba nti buli mulonzi yenna afuna akapapula ako. Twamaliza okusunsulamu abeesimbyewo omukutwalira wamu twafuna emitwalo 8,397 ba candidates abeesimbyewo kuviira ddala ku kifo kya president n'okutuukira ddala ku ba kansala b'amagombolola. Ebifo byesimbyewo biri 45,555. Naye eky'omukisa omubi waliwo bannaffe bambi abavudde mu bulamu bw'ensi eno nga bamaze okusunsulwamu nga ba candidates. Amateeka gatugamba nti candidate bwafa ng'okulonda tekunabeerawo, akakiiko k'ebyokulonda kalina okuteekawo enteekateeka nomination empya oba nomination okujjuza ekifo kyo candidate afudde. Naye bali abaali basunsuddwa ku kifo ekyo nga bakyali balamu tebajja kuddamu ate okusunsulwamu nedda. Ebifo bino biri mu Kasanda tulina ekifo kimu, Chairperson wegombolola, Kabonga tulinayo omu eyali yeesimbye ku kifo kya abakadde, Bududa tulina ekifo kimu kyali kyesimbyewo ku bwa kansala wegombolola, Kwania ekifo kimu ky'omukyala wa kansala wa district, Nakasongola naye waliwo ekifo kimu ky'omu kansala wegombolola, Sironko naye waliwo ekifo kimu kya kansala omukyala kansala kirira abakyala kugombolola, ne Tororo waliwo ekifo kimu ekya omukiikize w'abakyala kansala kugombolola. Twagala okukubiriza abo bonna abaagala kwesimba mu bifo bino ngu ennaku z'enkya 27 na 28 omukolo guno bwe gugenda okubeerawo, enteekateeka eno bwegenda okukolebwa mu bifo ebyo, si ggwanga lyonna naye wali mu bifo bye tumaze okulanga era twamaze okutegeeza ba district administrators abali mu district okutegeeza abantu bonna mu district bamugombolola nti ekifo kino bwe kiri abaagala okwesimbawo. Nga bwe twalambika nti ennaku z'okulonda twamala zitegeezebwa, naye twagala kubajjukiza kulonda kuba president genda kunaba member of parliament kuenda kubeera lunaku lumu ng'ennaku 15 omwezi gw'olubereberye oba January 26 conference oba olukungaana olw'okulonda olw'aba abaliko obulemu okulonda abakiikize baabwe mu parliament olujja kubeera ng'ennaku 19 mwezi gwa January ate okulonda ba councillors abakulembera special interest groups abavubuka aba older persons n'abaliko bulema ku magombolola town municipal division ija kubeera ennaku 11 n'ebirala nga bwe mbinyonyodde omujabisanga mu mpapula waffe. Twagala okukubiriza abo bonna ebitongole ebibiina by'obufuzi abeesimbyewo abo abasabye okubeera bakalabalaba oba obuzaabazi n'ebitongole by'okwerinda ebitongole bya nakyewa n'abalonzi bonna n'abawagizi bonna nti ennaku zino muzijjukire kubanga mulina okutandika okweteekateeka okulonda. Mu kaseera kano twakafunako okwemulugunya okwava mu kusunsulwamu kw'aba candidates kulinga 300 obwogatta wamu okwemulugunya okuvudde mu kusunsulwa kwa member of parliament na gavumenti z'ebitundu. Okuva omwezi ogw'omwenda ndowooza ennaku zaali 11 commission ebadde tuula buli lunaku okutunulira mu nsonga zino petitions oba emisango oba okwemulugunya okuvudde mu kulonda. Era n'olunaku lwaleero nga sinajja wano nsoose kutuula na bamateeka baffe nga tutunula egimu ku misango oba okwemulugunya kuno ke tubadde tuwuliriza. Enkola yaffe tusinziira mu mateeka nga constitution bwetulagira tutuulanga kooti era waliwo abadde abaleeta n'abajulizi ne babookya ebibuuzo balooya abantu babadde bajjawo ne bapulida baabwe nga amateeka bwe gakkiriza. Kwegamba netuwulira ensonga kwegamba kitunaaba tusazeewo tujja kusooka kwekennenyeza ddala nti ddala ekintu kino kye bagamba kituufu oba si kituufu, kiri mu mateeka oba tekiri mu mateeka. Obululu okukuba obululu oba ballot paper printing gwe mulimu gwatandise dda era omulimu ogwo twaguwa company ziri 6 ebbiri za wano mu Uganda 4 z'ebweru wa Uganda era zatandise dda okukola omulimu okukuba obululu bwonna mu bifo ebyo byonna nga bwe tugambye. Tusaba ebibiina by'obufuzi n'abo bonna beesimbyewo mutuwa amannya gaba agents bammwe abanaabeerawo ku kisaawe ky'ennyonyi Entebbe nga obululu buno butuuka mu ggwanga nga bamaze obukuba. Eryo ddembe lyammwe mutuwa amannya tujja kuteekayo enteekateeka eneebasooseza ogenda ku kisaawe ku lunaku lwennyini ennyonyi zinaaba zireeta oba binaaba ereeta obululu buno mu ggwanga. Tugenda kukozesa ebyuma bya kalimagezi naddala ku polling station. Ku mulundi guno tulongosezzaamu akuuma katwakozesa mu mwaka 2012-16 ne mwaka gwa 2021. Kati bw'obanga ekinkumu ky'omulonzi kiganye okuvaayo bulungi bagenda mukuba kafaananyi. Jjukira nti akuuma kano kaba kalina ekifaananyi kyo, kaba kalina amannya go, enamba yo ng'omulonzi n'ebirala. Kati oba kukuba kafaananyi ekifaananyi kyo bw'obanga oli mulonzi ku polling station eyo ekifaananyi kyo ekiri mu kuuma kijja kuvaayo then bakakase nti oli mulonzi polling station eyo. Obuuma buno twakafunako 6,000 naye obulala obusigaddeyo ng'emitwalo 49 tubusuubira okutuuka omwezi guno nga tegunaggwaawo. Buli polling station egenda kubeera n'obuuma obwo ku mulundi teri muchezo ku mulundi guno, hakuna muchezo. Buli polling station ejja kubeerako obuuma obwo. Akamu bukafa nga tuyingizaawo kali. Bw'obanga toyina mukono oba tibagitemako oba ebyenkumu tekirabika oyina face yadde oli muzibe oyina face akuuma kateeka okumanyira bwegambe tugamba buli muntu yenna okuweebwa akalulu ng'omaze kakasibwa kuuma bw'obanga tuli mulonzi polling station eyo akuuma kagenda kugaana tujja kulonda yadde olina endangamuntu naye nga toli ku polling station eyo bagenda kulaga agwe bw'obanga mu district eyo bagenda kugamba agwe polling station eri gindi naye bw'obeolenga oli wampigi oyagala kulondera mukono tebakumanyi nomukuuma tolimu nolwekyo tusaba nti abantu bonna mumanye wa we mugenda okulondera ate abo bonna basuubira nti bajja genda baleete bululu simanyi babukubidde oba babukubidde wa mu Kampala nga bwe baagala tebagenda buleeta babusonsoke mu bokisi sebo ebyo byedda twavaayo ddawo tebijja kubeerawo mubyerabire kakati abantu babuuza nti naye lwaki temunatongooza akuuma kano mu bantu temunakanjula temunabategeeza mugenda akakozesa mutya nga abantu tebamanyi mugire mugumikirizeeko kati kyetuliko tutraininga abagenda okuyigiriza abantu abanaakozesa koomaako ku polling stations 5,000 mu Lusambu nga bwe tugambye kati bano be bagenda ku training kubanga abagenda okubeera recruited okukola ku buumu obwo ku polling stations bagenda kubeera 5,000 mu Lusambu naye kati tugenda kuwandiika abantu 1,000 abo tugenda oba traininga ate nabo batraininge bali 5,000 mu bitundu bitali mu by'eggwanga abagenda kukola ku buumu obwo kozesa obuumu obwo oluvannyuma tujja kwanjula kuuma kano twali tugambye tujja kusooka tuyita bamawulire oba tunaalaba buli omu tugambe tuwe ebikukwatako ng'omulonzi bw'oba nga toli mulonzi tetujja kuteekamu kubanga tetukumanyi mu regisita yaffe tolimu naye bwanga oli mulonzi tujagamba bamawulire ffenna tugambe tujja gamba ba mucunguzi naye abalala mu PR mufune ebibakwatako tubateeke mu kuuma ako buli muntu mugambe ajangu teeka yano kinkumu kakola katya oba face oba kinkumu kiganye face kakola katya ebyo byonna tugenda kubyanjula then tutegeze n'ebibiina by'obufuzi ebibiina bya nakiyewa n'abantu bonna nti system eno egenda kukola bweti tetulina kye tukweka mu kulonda bannange tekiriiwo naye kye tusaba mubeere bagumiikiriza ekiseera bwe kinaatuuka kitali kyawala nnyo tugenda kwanjula akuuma kano kakola mu ngeri ki oba kanaakozesebwa katya abo bonna abaagala okubeera ba observers mu kulonda okuliwo kati oba mu program oba lwaleero oba bino biriwo campaigns oba biki oba ku lunaku luli lwennyini lw'okulonda muli baddembe okuwandikira akakiiko ke byokulonda naddala abo abagenda okuva ebweru wa Uganda. Campaigns nga bwe twategeeza eggwanga okusunsulwamu kwa abo bonna abeesimbyewo ku bifo byonna president, member of parliament, local government batandika kuba campaigns okutwala wamu campaign zitambula bulungi okujjako ky'omukisa mubi ba candidates abamu si bonna n'aba agents baabwe n'abawagizi baabwe abeeyisa mu ngeri etagondera mateeka ebimu ku reports zitufunye naffe betulabyeko ku mikutu gy'amawulire okuteeka ebivulo omu makubo oli n'atambula n'oluserengete lw'abantu so nga tetwagamba nti amakubo sigaba candidates bokka beesimbyewo ekkubo lina lusigala liri ya buli omu ayina eddembe okutambula gy'alaga naye gwe bw'ovaayo n'okola ekivulo oba procession ng'otambula ku sipiidi y'akasoobo n'osiba ekkubo lyonna ekintu si kya bwenkanya bw'ofuuse nakyemalira. That's not right. Ekyo twatandika okukitongoza ekintu ekyo nga yadde tiwanabeerawo na nominations za presidential candidates. Ku lunaku lwe twasunsula ba presidential candidates twabakubiriza nti mugoberere ebiragiro oba amateeka akakiiko agali mu mateeka g'eggwanga, amateeka gakwata ku entambula y'ebiduka oba entambula yaffe mu makubo na guidelines zetufulumya nga akakiiko okusinziira mu buyinza bwatuweebwa mu ssemateeka. Ne tugamba nti ebivulo tebikkirizibwa. Vuga motoka yo, genda wogenda okubira kampeyini, abawagizi obasange yeeri, oyogere eri abantu. Tulaba abakandidates abakola abakikola naye babamu oba bafuuse ki nantawulira nantamegwa nantagambwako bakola ebintu kwegamba eki kyekireesewo ebintu kwegamba nekireetawo embeera nti ab'ebyokwerinda bagezaako okuzza embeera mu nteewo niyo abaawo kukola ki okusikagana mu buwa. Nolwekyo ekintu ekyo tukivumirira. Ba candidates twabagamba nti mu nteekateeka yammwe y'okuba campaigns olina okulaga wa w'ogenda ku olunaku bwe luti. Kolagana n'abeebibiina ebitongole by'okwerinda, Uganda Police Force mu district, obagambe nja kubeera mu kifo bwe kiti. Balina okusooka okukakasa ddala ekifo kino